Hello, and welcome to the Tower Coffee Hour. This is your host, Preston, or Tyree, and I'm coming to you today from Austin Energy, where the MNA is having their regular monthly meeting for January. Looks like a fairly simple meeting today. We'll be talking about the budget and the Transportation and Urban Planning Committee meeting, and the new event coming up, which is including a bike ride, but it's a book announcement by two people from Delft in the Netherlands who just do amazing work. And in this case, they're celebrating how women change cities. So let's go look at the MNA January meeting for 2026.
Good morning. Sorry, we're having technical difficulties with the new chair, figuring things out, but I think we're getting there. Thanks for everybody being here. This is the first 2026 meeting of the Mueller Neighborhood Association. I am your newly elected chair, Andrew Clements. Our vice president, Greg Keller, is feeling under the weather, and he was going to try and join by Zoom because we always offer a Zoom option. We have our treasurer that is going to be presenting our financials in a minute. And we have our secretary, Michelle, somewhere. Michelle, who are the other steering committee members we have present today? Why don't you raise her hand? As is ex officio. Melanie, hi. I'm still learning everybody's names, unfortunately. But I'll get there. Thank you all for being present. It's a pretty day. Let's establish, could everybody that's a paid member paid your big $10 for 2026?
4 or 5. We don't know.
Just claim it.
All right.
I actually were not voting on anything today, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. It's a good thing we're not voting today.
Well, online also.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure we have 20 then.
Yeah.
We'll establish that we have quorum. Our breakfast buddy today is a friend of mine who does amazing baked goods out of their house on Littlefield. It's called Littlefield Bakehouse. And Tom is here because we want to support our local businesses. So it's amazing. I've been doing this for about a year and a half every Saturday.
Well, I have an outdoor voice. I don't need the microphone. So yeah, thank you for having me here today. It's a pleasure. I got to talk to some of you. I know we've got some neighbors here. Ted, looking at you, and a neighbor that we share a back alley, and I've seen, but I didn't remember because they're hardly ever outside in the summer. So thank you. What did I have today? I had cardamom buns out there, which you may have tried. I had pumpkin pecan muffins, and cranberry walnut sourdough bread, which you may have tried. The baguettes, which is a favorite of mine. And then I do just a variety, some staples that are regular every week, but long story short, and I've told this to some of you, this all began in 2015 when we watched Michael Pollan's Netflix 4-part series on, and I'm forgetting the name just now, but someone's going to remember it. And one of the episodes was all about fermentation and baking, and one of my first jobs that I had as a 16-year-old was working in my mom's cousin's Swiss bakery in Canada. And so I've always had a love for baking. There was a time in my life when I had the time and money. I did about half a year's worth of cordon bleu training as well, just because I thought that was so fun, and I worked in bakeries. And so when 2015 came along, I thought, why are we buying bread? I can make this. And so it turned out that it was something cathartic for me, which turned into a few neighbors asking if I could make bread for them. And literally one of the neighbors we share a back alley with, they were living here in 2015, and then they briefly moved to Circle C, and then within 2 years they were back. And they are just a block over from us now, and she's been my longest standing customer And then after 2021, we just decided that we would offer to more people. So Bart Glazer is another person that some of you may know. He's been along, and so it kind of spread. And then we finally came across, we moved from Facebook to Hot Plate. And so if you grab one of these, it's a little fridge magnet, use the QR code and sign up. It'll just alert you every week and tell you, hey, I'm baking, here's what I'm making this week, and you can order there. It's super simple. And then we do pickups usually on Saturday mornings from 9:30 to 11:30. Every once in a blue moon, there's something happening on a Saturday. I might bake on a Friday. So just look at the dates, but it's almost always Saturdays. So I do the staples, I do a classic, I do sesame sunflower, I do pumpernickels, and then a variety of other things. I was just going on about one of the favorites of people I hear very often and kind of doubt myself. Can it really be that good? I know it's good, but many people will say the strawberry muffins are their absolute favorite thing they've ever had, and I do those in summer. So I do babkas. So just have a look and see what I make. Also, we just love to chat, and feel free to hang out on the front porch and chat with us. My wife is very conversational, and we just love to get to know people, and that's half the reason we're doing this is because we just like to get to know people, and there's been a lot of great connections made on the front porch of our house. Every once in a while, we'll send out a notice that we'll have some extra things baked that you can just have, and we'll make coffee, and you can just sit and chat if the weather's nice, so look for that as well. So, again, my name's Thomas. My wife's name is Anita, if you ever meet her. We're on Littlefield Street, and I hope to see you guys again. Thanks.
Kitchen,
Yeah.
the website address was incorrect, or what was?
No. Somebody said that they looked up something bakehouse and it said it was in Terrytown. I don't know what you looked up, but it's on Littlefield Street here.
I got a card or magnet, so I just do that QR.
Just do that QR code. It'll take you where you need
Thank
to go.
you.
You're welcome.
Delicious.
You're
It
welcome.
was.
Yes.
Oh, no, it's-
Oh, okay.
And they are fantastic, and sometimes they have coffee on their front porch, and you just sit down and talk with people picking up their orders. We have a coffee sponsor today that Kaz arranged for.
That's right. One of my neighbors, they started roasting coffee. They're called Gradient Coffee ATX. We'll put that in the newsletter. We'll also put it on the Instagram. They're over there on the southeast, over there by me. I helped them pick up the roaster. So it's freshly roasted yesterday, freshly ground this morning, like 20 minutes ago, freshly brewed, so please do help yourself. Again, that was Gradient Coffee ATX, so look out for that. Good coffee, great people.
Super, and I think they might agree to be doing it for the rest of the year, maybe. We're in talks.
We're talking.
Let's move on our agenda. There's an amazing event happening today across the street. It's a talk about this couple that has produced a book nationally. They're in town. Safe Streets and some other organizations have brought them to Mueller. So the talk is at 2:30 at what's the name of the real estate? Kathy. Mueller Residential Group. They're just down, they have a storefront across the street down Mueller Boulevard. So the talk's at 2:30, and then there's a community bike ride at 3:30. I know Ty is going to, and I'm going to. Maybe Ted's going to. But this is an amazing event just today. So if you're free, show up at Mueller Residential Group at 2:30 or come to the bike ride at 3:30. It's kind of small, I know.
The couple is from Amsterdam.
Where they really love bikes. Where they have some of the biggest population of bikes. Oops, I'm sorry. I advanced them. But anyway, 2:30. Well.
Yes.
You want to try and talk about upcoming events?
Sure, everybody. Sorry I'm not there. I had an injury and still recovering at home. But we have events coming up. The first one will be our Easter egg hunt, the 4th of April. And that will be the Realty group that was doing it has handed it off to MNA to do this year. Um, and so I'll be asking for volunteers in the newsletters, and the next one, if you want to help plan that event, looking for someone to be the lead person, chair of that group, and other people will be part of that group. So look in the newsletter that comes out next, and you'll see an opportunity to sign up or just contact me. And then a week after that, we'll have our EAT event, and that will be at the pavilion. And Samia is planning that again. Then the 6th of June, we'll have Juneteenth, followed by the 4th of July event. So really busy time coming up. So I'm going to be really needing volunteers. And you'll see more to that in the newsletter and face-to-face at the next meeting because I'll be there.
Great. And Lynn usually does a pretty good presentation too on events, since she's our event planner. I don't know if everybody, this is going to be really small print, but we have mini grants that we grant primarily. They were intended for block parties that you see sometimes. They're open to everybody, but they're intended for the neighbors in that area. We have a web page on our Mueller Neighborhood Association. We have a way to apply for a mini grant. So just want to make everybody available, and we're trying to have more because we're trying to reach out to the neighborhood. So if you go to the Mueller Neighborhood Association website, there's instructions on how to apply for a mini grant, up to $250 or $150? $150. I'm being generous. But yeah, I went to a great one in December on my block. But just be aware that we grant mini grants for not necessarily just block parties, anything that brings the neighborhood together. We want to mention Monday's MLK Day. The big event in town is a parade from the Capitol to Houston Tillotson. It starts at 9:30 at the steps of the Capitol, and then it concludes in a 3 or 4 hour festival at Houston Tillotson. We wanted to make sure and mention this event on Monday. Next up, we have Teresa, our treasurer.
I'm Teresa Shostak, and I've been part of the steering committee since last summer, and assumed responsibility for the treasurer role a couple months ago, and still kind of figuring things out, but having a lot of fun with it, and look forward to getting you more transparency into numbers and things as we get into the coming year. So first off, I just wanted to say, we did talk about proposing the budget this morning, and then I said, I really think, first off, it would be more helpful to give you a general view of our financials, where we are, what the priorities are. We do have a draft of the budget. We'll share that with you here, but in general, where are we financially, give you some transparency into that, and then we'll look at proposing and getting approval on the budget next month is the plan. So in general, right now, we're closing out the books for 2025. We use a software application called, a web app called Wave to track all our financials, and so we're closing things out, we're finalizing, like I said, the proposed budget, and then a big one. We had a team our fundraising team last year that did a phenomenal job compared to prior years. I think it's just so much more of a focus on it. We have a lot of businesses that have moved into the area, and so tremendous momentum to try to carry forward moving into this year. But on the fundraising side, we have our community partners, and we've got, which is a huge part of it. We've got our in-kind donations. Those are some of the things we've been able to enjoy for free from HEB, gift cards. UPS is generous this past year and has provided our mailbox and printing services for us, and we want to hopefully keep those in-kind donations moving forward. The silent auction, which Lynn coordinated, and lots of people helped by securing donations. for the silent auction that we held in October, November. We got about almost $5,000 from that. And then merchandise sales as well. We still have a few of the gift card, we have a few of the gift card sets available. We're going to continue to sell those, and then potentially other merchandise. So for 2025, just to give you an idea of where our money came from, our income for 2025 totaled about $34,500, which was great, because we spent a lot of money, but we still, net income is probably about $9,300 for the year. Right now, we have just over $14,000 in our checking account. We've got savings that we've been able to keep there and not touch at all for the last at least year or so. We've got some petty cash, and we still have some remaining gift cards from 2025, but we are hoping that we'll get more. We use those a lot for, especially refreshments for meetings, paper goods for events, and that sort of thing. So HEB has been a great sponsor for us. And I put, it's my corporate, I'm retired now, but corporate partnerships, it's not, it's community partners. So I noticed that this morning, but what was that, it's corporate partnerships, of course. I was in the corporate world for a long, long time. And so, like I said, our net income is about $9,300 is where I think we're going to come out for 2025. And then we'll wait till they can get the budget up here.
That's what's up.
No.
Any questions about that part?
Yep, now hit the share down there.
All right.
So we have about $19,500 in assets right now.
But I think Craig's on the
Yes.
meeting.
Who
Wait,
comprise the corporate partnership?
Who are some of the corporate partners? It is a lot of money. I'll name some, but if you guys want to add anything, so there's Ascension,
oh, so,
some of the big ones, Mueller Foundation,
Yep.
gosh, there's big ones and little ones. Do you want to speak to that, Mary?
Well, I was just gonna say, there are posters back there that have all of our financial donors on them, and they're also on our website. And we had
then
five
you
at
can
the
realize it,
top
yeah.
level, which is
sorry, it's a lot to do
$2,500.
to run the meeting.
And then Amanda
to have the
Trevino,
iPad.
the Mueller Residential Group, just a lot of
And so
businesses
go back to,
that are in the Mueller community. HEB,
Yeah, HEB's a big one.
yeah.
Yeah, it's good work, thank you. The web, we do promote them on our website as well. So, yeah. Yay, okay. So here's the draft of the budget, and I'm just sharing kind of the totals. I'll get out of the way so you guys can see that. Definitely the event, our biggest costs are events. That's primarily what we do. When we looked at what we'd like to do for this next year, we came up with about $23,000 we'd like to spend. And we're still, the steering committee is still scrubbing these, so could come down a little bit, could go up a little bit, depending on what we decide. And then operations, we have our website costs, the hosting costs there, we've got internet, we've got storage. We do have a storage unit that we use to keep all our stuff. Got some printing, the newsletter is electronic now, we don't have any printing costs for that. And then equipment, we bought some sound system. So at our events, we used to rent the sound system that we use, the microphone, that sort of thing. Now we bought in 2025, with the help of one of the steering committee members, we bought some used equipment, but we did use it at the Mid-Autumn Festival, and it's great. So if anybody wants to do some karaoke or just get out there and talk at one of our events, we got you, and you can project out. So, there we go. So this is where we are right now. Next month, we'll have more detail, and we'll bring it to the membership for approval. Any thoughts or comments or questions about the budget, any of the line items at this stage? Yeah, Melanie?
What about the It's My Park Day?
It's My Park Day is definitely on the plan. So her question was about, those on the Zoom, was a question about It's My Park Day. That I think would fall.
That last events committee.
Yeah, the event committee partnerships, and that was kind of our catch-all, that we said, let's put some money in there that we can support, either for events that might be, there are a lot of ideas that the events committee has come up with for possible events, all different kinds of things. We've talked about an art fair, with, focusing on allowing neighbors who have much more creative ability than I to share their wares and make them available. We've talked about several different kinds of events that, open mic night or a kind of a talent show thing at Alamo, that sort of thing. So we've got kind of that catch-all. Yeah, so It's My Park Day falls under the events committee for Lynn. Anything else? All right, well, I'll see you next month with the budget, and then I do plan on, at each of these meetings, giving a general overview of where we are from a financial standpoint. And I'm always available if you have any questions. Again, Teresa Shostak. I live on Camacho. You can just knock on my door, or email or text me. Thanks.
We're lucky to have her,
Thank you.
and we know we're responsible to the general membership. And we all agreed to a budget, so hopefully next meeting, we'll be presenting a budget for y'all to consider and approve. It'll be a formal issue for the general membership. But we're excited about trying to do more events, or to have a full schedule for the neighborhood. I want to introduce an initiative that I think is important. We're gonna start offering childcare at these meetings because we want to get families out. Ashley Elliott is back in the corner with her daughter. I invited her out today to see the lay of the land. We barely got the publicity out, but if you know young couples that don't come or want to come but are concerned about their children, we're going to start offering childcare in the back corner, so they'll even be in the room. So please get that word out. We're going to be publicizing that more, but I think that's important to trying out childcare at our general meetings and maybe at other events too. I'm your first guest speaker. You may not have known that Lake Park has been renamed Girard Kinney, but Girard lives in Cherrywood, which is the neighborhood to the north of us. I think in '85 he started a committee to talk about what could happen to the airport when it closed, and some others, Rick Kravaniak. There's a whole host of people that got involved as far back as '85. He's an architect friend of mine. And the park has officially been renamed Girard Kinney Park. So refer to that when you think of Lake Park and shirt tie.
So we got thinking about this. That lake doesn't have a name. Okay, so we were thinking that it should be Kinney Park and Lake Girard. Would be a good opportunity to really give the lake a name, because it's, it's a retention pond.
Who came up with that idea?
My wife.
Somebody wise.
Yeah, it's a good thing to have a wife. But it just makes so much sense to be able to say Lake Girard, or instead of Lake, or Girard Kinney Lake. No. Anyway, Kinney Park, Lake Girard.
Well, officially right now it's Girard Kinney Park. So, and we will lobby the developer and the commission, the oversight commission. But please do some research. I think he deserves honoring for all he's done. He's also done a lot of studies for the Browning hangar, the hangar we have, the possible reuse of that and the history of it. And he's done studies for the control tower and what could possibly happen with the control tower, which is a conundrum. So research Girard. We had, yeah.
Are they gonna name the other ponds as well? The retention, I mean, they're the city of Austin, they're not.
They're just in the southeast, in the southwest Greenway. I seriously doubt we're gonna rename the entire perimeter parks. I don't know. You know, that is up with us or in conjunction with the city. So that would need something, but we have an oversight commission. We can come up with ideas. Yeah, there are certainly other people to honor, although our streets are named after prominent Austinites from the past. I don't know if Zoe's, I just want to introduce our council member, Zoe Qadri, and Mueller resident, has staff here.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I was here last year. I'm just going to yell real quick because I don't have any important updates. But I was here last year, I think at the end of the year. I've worked with quite a few of you on a lot of things in this neighborhood from varied issues. Please keep reaching out to us. We love working with y'all. The council member was sad he couldn't make it today. He's traveling back into town this morning. But he'll be here next month, probably with me again. We have some contact information in the back table, but most of you probably also know how to get a hold of us. So if you have our contact info, please use it. If you need it, it's in that back table, and it's nice to be here.
Thank you very much. Grab her if you have questions. I also want to introduce, if you want to speak, Rich Heyman.
Oh, sure. Hi, y'all. I met most of you, talked to you this morning, but I'm Rich Heyman, and I'm running for city council in this district, District 9. And I have a couple of handouts here. I think I gave them to most of you. If you didn't get one, let me know, and I'm happy to give you one. I just wanted to say about Girard Kinney. Not only has he done a ton of stuff for this neighborhood, he's done a ton of stuff over the last 40 years all over the city. He's been really important in the walking initiatives, the Great Streets initiatives, the trying to reduce the number of billboards around the city. He's done
Instrumental.
so many things, and including, played a huge role in the development of this neighborhood, but all over the city. He's been super important, and he's an amazing neighbor. I'm in Cherrywood Neighborhood Organization with him, which is actually to the west of y'all, not to the north. But I'm a geographer, so I can say that. But anyway, yeah, happy to meet you all, and great to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Girard and was instrumental in the Great Streets program that we see downtown and that we have examples of here in Mueller also. Thank you. Sure.
Okay, I'm Ellen, this is Grace. We're University Democrats, and we're also on Zoe's re-election campaign, so that gave you all the official side. We just wanted to say, hey, I think most of y'all got one of these already. But yeah, he's, lives in Mueller, loves y'all. Just having his campaign re-election kickoff on Monday, January 6th at Stubbs at 6 p.m. So y'all should swing by. What do you say?
February 6th.
Oh, January. Did I say 20? 26.
26.
Yes. Sorry. I don't know what I said.
We'll get it clear.
January 26th, Monday, 6 p.m. at Stubbs on Red River. There's going to be food, be a live band, comedy show. So y'all should come by if you have any questions. We might have the answer. Nat might have the answer. We'll stick around. So yeah, nice to meet all of you. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you very much. Lynn, I know you talked before, we have a space for events committee.
No, other than if you are interested in a face-to-face quarterly meeting where you're going to help us make sure these events happen, please email me at ruggerlynn@aol.com.
And that was ruggerlynn@aol.com. She's always looking for volunteers to help us plan events. The membership committee, I'll just say that as chair, one of my goals is to increase membership. I know in the past we've had a door-to-door block walk just of members, so I may be looking for volunteers to do that. But please invite your neighbors, anybody you bump into, to come to the Neighborhood Association meetings. We have a Transportation and Urban Planning Committee. I've got it ready to go.
First update is there's an application, affordable housing developer. They reached out. They're looking for neighborhood support for the future affordable housing, the Jordan 2. It's going to be across from the Jordan 1, which is at Philomena and Tilly. So in the northwest northwest corner is the Jordan 1. On the southwest corner will be the Jordan 2. That's the weird-looking vacant lot currently. The timeline on that is uncertain. They're unsure if they're going to do the application this year or next year. My first question to them as TUP committee chair was, what can we do to support that moving faster? What can we do to support more units than you're already currently planning? As well as what can we do to support some mixed use potentially? They said it's an irregular lot, and also it's a small lot, so they're not looking at doing more, and the timeline is kind of dependent on the bureaucratic process with the tax credit. But we're going to do what my idea is that the TUP will try to do what we can to support it by bringing that support to the general membership when that's appropriate. So hopefully that's sooner rather than later. So that might be in the next couple months, or it might be in the next 18 months, depending on them. It's not up there. The draft was published as a PDF. It's not live.
Oh.
And so.
What is it?
It's Foundation Communities is the developer, the same people that did the Barbara Jordan. I served on the board for 8 years and rolled off in December.
Right.
But they are making, they formally made application for that to the developer, and they're also applying for federal grants.
What area right across from the?
It's our
the
site,
vacant.
it's the 3.2 acre site directly across from the Barbara
That's what I was trying to
Jordan.
figure out.
Yeah,
Well,
this is
it's-
this is a future item. This is a different item.
Sorry.
Sorry.
There are two
It was
vacant, I
confusing.
mean, it's vacant across the street and also next to General Marshall, so which
Well,
space are you?
It's the bigger one,
Just
the
south,
self-contained one.
on the left side of,
Is it across the street from the
Okay, all right, good.
yeah,
It's just not clear from.
right there. This,
It's a vacant piece of land, it's the only one.
no, that's okay.
The one next to the school is small
It's the one McBee,
Wow.
Tilly, Philomena,
in that area.
the other one. It touches the Octopus Park.
I got it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it wasn't clear.
Okay,
Sorry.
I got you. Sorry about that. So next update is East 51st. So the MNA sent a letter to the PIAC as well as our elected leaders asking the city to build the safety improvements on East 51st Street as quickly as possible. It's been delayed over a decade. And so the letter was build it, do it, as well as monthly in-person updates. And so they gave an update to the PIAC this month. In the letter, we said we find it appropriate that staff is there in person every month for an accountability measure. This has already gone off track, and so the letter states, and this is what the general membership approved, was that it is appropriate for city staff, it's their job, to be up in front of the boards and commission and to be accountable for that progress on a monthly basis. And so we're hoping that they will follow through on that and give monthly updates. Even if there's no update, we need somebody up there in person to update that. Preston.
I was very disappointed in what was presented. Just a very quick run through saying, hey, here's the timeline. But it looks like that we've lost a lot of what we had originally designed 51st to do, and which was be a gateway between the two communities and all that kind of stuff. It looks like we've lost a lot of that, and they're gonna just do a full depth resurface, pretty much. And that is very disappointing.
Right, and so yes ma'am.
Was one of the things that, I don't remember what was listed as the recommendations, but was one of them to put a light where that current flashing light is on 51st Street because the kids coming across?
We're only talking about the stretch of 51st to Berkman.
Yeah,
We're not talking about further.
That's a different project, and that is a good recommendation. And so I would encourage everybody to reach out to your council member and through 311 to say that's an unsafe crossing the way it is currently. Yes.
The
so
Berkman project is I-35, I'm 51st, is I-35 to Berkman. That's what was in the 2012 bond project.
Yeah. Well, and that is not to say that nothing can be done to that. It's just saying that this is, that one project is geographically limited. And part of the reason, as Preston was saying, that it appears that the city is updating to have a much reduced scope is because it's taken so long. So you've had inflation as well as they've had redesign costs that, and city staff has not been the one engineering, and so that's been part of the reason it costs more money. When you pay a consultant to do it, and then
Fire a consultant.
and then fire a consultant at least once, then the prices keep rising. And so what they're paying for at this point is the redesign. And there's also, we're trying to figure out why there are elements that have been removed, what has been removed, and what is currently in the plan. So they did not, it's my understanding, go ahead, Katie.
I just want to add, they're also purposely leaving the public out and providing input. They said in their presentation that they will have an informational session only in the summer and leave us out of this design process, so we kind of.
I'm the neighborhood commissioner on the oversight commission that meets here, and I'm gonna be pushing for more public input, even delaying the project for more public input. Because they say in March, we're gonna have a 90% design presented, that we haven't seen anything. And the previous design, they did renderings of what it was gonna look like. So I've pushed for, we have to have a comparison between what was presented before and what they're designing now.
Billy?
What is the hope for? I mean, this is the first time.
Well, there, in the 2012 bond, the transportation projects included this stretch of East First and 51st Street to improve it safety-wise. They were going to do great streets on the south side, on our side, bike lane improvements, even a boulevard.
A boulevard with
an island down the middle,
trees,
so
trees
increase
in the
safety
middle, yeah.
with turns, because
Yeah.
we have a lot of turns in the Mueller and out. But blocking some of the left turn lane, like at a Home Depot, I don't think there'd be a break in the island.
And so the fear is that they've removed most of the safety aesthetic elements, and it's just more automobile infrastructure. It's not actually improving the aesthetics, it's not improving the heat island effect, it's not improving a lot of the stuff that was sold. And so it's understandable you've not heard of it before. It's because it's been going on so long. And like we're now a city of 1 million, whereas like back in 2010 we weren't quite 500,000, but we're like 600. Like it's been some time. Meryl, you had something.
Yeah, I had two questions. One is how are we working with Windsor Park? I'm sure that they would be just as interested in this as we are because they're on the north side.
Mm-hmm.
And so are we partnering with them, or did they come to the meeting?
Well, Rick Kravaniak's on the commission, and he's from Windsor Park.
As well as the letter, we did. We gave them a draft. We said we were planning to send this. Do you want to be included as a key stakeholder for that? And they said yes. So we've requested that the city, whenever they email back the MNA on these updates, they CC Windsor Park. Katie.
Well, I have one other.
Oh, sorry.
Did they say anything about the roundabout on the other side of I-35? Because I've been in roundabouts all over the world, and that's the worst one.
That is
horrible.
for sure. That's number one. That's TxDOT. Number two, it's outside of this project limits, as well as like part of the tough conversation. Hold on one second. Katie had one thing. Is there like many people in the top would like to see roundabouts on 51st instead of signals.
Yeah, roundabouts are fine if they're done right.
And again, that's a TxDOT design. So like that is the number one killer in Austin and in Texas is TxDOT. And it's an agency, it's not a person.
Four-way intersections.
Yeah. Hold on, Katie, you had something?
Oh, yeah, you just mentioned
Okay.
it. I was just gonna say that in addition to improving the aesthetics, we're interested in improving the safety of East 51st Street, and roundabouts are definitely like the proven safety countermeasure. The crashes at that roundabout, even though it's not perfectly designed, is dramatically lower than crashes at Berkman and
Yep.
51st and Lancaster.
Yep.
So there's already a precedent set, and that's something that we benefit from, that even though this project has taken a long time, we at least now get to see over time what improvements make more sense for 51st Street.
That's right. And I was actually hit on my bike on 51st and Lancaster. And so like in a roundabout, it would have been a different occurrence.
I just want number one, thank you so much for bringing this up
Mhm.
to us. And the other thing to remind people of is, this is a bond from 2012.
12.
It is 2026, and the city council is getting ready to ask us for more money. I think we need to hold them I voted for the last bond election,
Mhm.
but I think we need to hold them accountable, or at least ask for a list of all the bond projects that we've had done and where we are at that, because it is so inefficient.
For sure. Oh, well,
There is a
the
website.
last part I'll disagree with, but the first part, 100%, and what we said in the letter is, this is a 2012 bond. We're gonna go, and we're already in discussions, we already have folks, including Hayden, on the Bond Task Force Advisory Committee, something like that. Anyway, so that's part of the letter. It said, look, build the thing, and move on. Where you said it's like they're being inefficient, I think that it's a big city, lots of departments, divisions. There are certainly some that have not fulfilled their thing, but there are some that have 100% filled their mandates with the bond program. And so that includes Safe Streets School, Vision Zero, and some other programs as well. But this is not one of them. And this is under a different department, to be clear. But your frustration is shared by, I think, many of the folks as well. So with that, I'd like to move on to the next item. So the next item is, we have a PTMD, Parking Transportation Management District. And so that means any parking that you pay for on street inside the neighborhood, 50% of that stays in the neighborhood for projects in the neighborhood. We have a representative, the POA has a representative, and the Aldridge Street commercial reps have representatives on the PTMD. The TUP committee has brought three items to the general membership that we'd like for y'all to approve, to push to the PTMD that they will do it. The first one is the sidewalks master assessment. And so we're looking at asking the PTMD to ask the city, or not ask the city, for the city to engage one of their contractors to do a master sidewalk assessment of the entire neighborhood. So a master sidewalk assessment is engineers or technical tradespeople. They go out and they check every sidewalk in the neighborhood. They look for if it's uneven, if it's too low, if it's inaccessible, and whatnot, and then to do a map of the entire neighborhood of where those parts are. So especially in our older parts of the neighborhood, you'll see, everybody's seen it. If you've walked in this neighborhood, you've seen there's some bad parts, and there's a couple reasons for that. Some of it is we are in East Austin. We do have different kind of soil. There's a lot of clay. There's expansive soils and whatnot. I mean, some of us have seen it in houses. If you have an older house, you're probably looking at some foundation stuff that might be going on. You can see that in the sidewalk. You can see that in the streets as well. But we'd like the city to use one of their existing contracts to go out and to assess all those sidewalks. Once we have that assessment, then we know how much it's going to cost to fix, and then hopefully we can get the PTMD money, which has I forget how much it has in it right now. It's
We
like
have around $1 million.
That's right. And so our thought is the number one, assessment, number two, repair. And so that's number one. So I'd like to motion that the general membership, and I can read out the specifics of it real quick. I think it's a little technical. So the specifics are, the general membership recommends the PTMD push for a comprehensive sidewalks inventory and assessment through an existing COA contract. Timeline for implementation should be less than 3 months. So you gotta hold them on a deadline. Budget should be less than $75,000. Include $5,000 budget for COA staff work. COA staff should update PTMD members monthly on progress. COA should share all data with the PTMD POA MNA in electronic format. The assessment should include a sidewalks condition matrix similar to the sidewalks master plan. Assessment to include cost estimate to repairing and replacing sidewalks. Cost estimate should include cost for work if completed by COA crews or for existing COA sidewalk construction contractors. Assessment should include a section for permanent repairs that are beyond the capability of typical sidewalk repair work, such as changes to drainage. So some of these are the sidewalks. You can see a tree roots, like we love our trees. Sometimes they are not working so great with some of our sidewalks. And we have the technology to fix the tree and keep fix the sidewalk and keep the tree. So that's possible. It is more expensive though. Same thing with drainage. So if you have a lot of water runoff from like our row homes, and you'll see it'll like make the sidewalk drop. And so that's that. So with that, I'd like to motion. That's the motion. Oh, we do
We did, with the people online.
and now Hayden and
We have 20.
Greg have joined as well. Yep. Seconded. So now open for discussion or questions.
Just in the future, I recommend using the word evaluation rather than the word assessment.
Okay.
Because if people aren't paying attention, that word assessment is very alarming to people. They think it means you want to
Oh,
pay extra
you're
money
right. You're right.
a fee for a big repair.
You're right.
I mean, we all understand that's not what's here.
Yes.
But in general, evaluation
Okay.
is less frightening.
That's a good call. Thank you.
And the Transportation Urban Planning Committee has approved this, so if you want some confidence in what's coming before you, the TUP recommends it.
For sure. Melanie.
Well, so I'm working on a foundation just a few miles from here and learning about our
We have
clay
horrible
soil
clay.
and how difficult it is. So I'm curious if this is a repair that we know is going to be repetitive through the years. Are we trying to dig deep and do the foundation that?
I think that's a good question. There are some repairs that are cheap, easy, and pretty permanent. So that's if there's a lip. And actually, the city has done some of this. If you walk on some of the sidewalks and you see that like the lip has been scraped off, that's a machine the city or contractor, they bring out to site and they make it to where it's no longer has that lip. That would be a permanent repair. If you lift something up and you don't repair the drainage, it can work for 20 years. And so like, what's your timeline? A sidewalk, you go to like Rome, they've got some 1,000-year-old sidewalks, right? You go to downtown Austin, you've got, some sidewalks that are 100 years. You go to Bourbon Street, they're 200 years. So that's a hard question with sidewalks. It gets very complicated for the entire neighborhood. No, but generally, a sidewalk should be a 100-year piece of an asset. An asphalt street is about 20, and then like a delineator post is like a year or two, or when they first go in, like 6 weeks. So there's differences, different lifespans. It has also to do with the county depreciation. So like if you have like a computer, I don't even know what a private company depreciates a new computer now, but like that's kind of how you would look at it. But this is just an initial assessment. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Evaluation. That's right.
Mhm.
Evaluation.
Great. Friendly amendment.
Friendly amendment accepted.
I call the vote. Anybody who's in favor of what Kaz recommended, the letter that he recommended, please raise your hand. And online, that's going to be interesting.
Well, you can see their hands raised.
Landon. Great. Yeah, everybody online. Great. Anybody opposed? Anybody neutral?
Abstaining.
Abstaining. Because it's way too confusing.
Very good.
Great, thank you.
All right.
Second.
So then next we have digital speed display devices. So there are some that are currently already deployed in the neighborhood. Those are they're permanent signs, but they're temporarily placed. So what that means is the city moves those around when folks ask for. They say that there's too much speeding. They'll put it there temporarily, and then they'll move it to the next spot after a couple weeks or a couple months. And so the recommendation to the TUP is to approve three new locations for pairs for permanent. So the PTMD funding would buy it and maintain these. So that's 3 locations, but 2 pair. And so actually, yep, there's the map. So on the map, these are the blue symbols. So 1, 2, 3. So that's Anton Street near Maddie, Tom Miller near Maddie, and then Zach Scott near Marguerite. And the Zach Scott near Marguerite has them right now. The one on Antone, it had been there previously, and the one on Tom Miller had been actually closer to Berkman in one direction, and then closer to Antone in the other direction. But we're recommending right in the middle of both of those. Or if they recommend the opposite, so like it's, you know, a little closer to Anton when you're coming one way or a little closer to that. My thought is like right in the middle, that's where people start to speed and they get the highest speed. And so that's where you're trying to both, number one, capture the data, how fast they're going, but you're also trying to get them to go slower where they're going the fastest, not at the beginning. Yep. Preston?
I assume the data says that people slow down when they see those.
That's right. That is right. There's typically a persistent, if I'm remembering the literature correctly, 2 to 3 mile an hour speed decrease with that, saying your speed is this. And so like every mile an hour over 20 miles an hour, if you're a pedestrian or cyclist, it makes it more and more likely, like it's not incrementally, it's exponentially, exponentially more deadly every mile an hour over 20. So a 2 to 3 mile reduction over 20 miles an hour is life-saving, potentially life-saving. And so that's the thought. Any thoughts on this? So we developed these locations at the committee level to try to save for, like, 'cause there's a lot of back and forth and like thinking about the neighborhood and what we're doing. So like we're happy to develop more locations. We're happy to look at other things as well. But we try to do a lot of that at the committee level. But with that, open it up for other discussion.
What about the other side of Tom Miller, or outside of Berkman, Tom Miller?
Which location?
In front of you.
In front of you, yeah. Like so,
Tom Miller.
but on the other side of Berkman.
Oh,
Is there
yeah,
plan longer term, maybe?
So down there,
Because that's just one long open stretch of road that I can imagine.
I would support that, but I won't suggest it since I live right there. I mean, I sit on my front porch and I see how fast people are going, and I want to have like cabbage or something to give them a nice howdy. But yeah. Any other thoughts on those locations?
It could just be a start.
Yeah, and yeah. So like the PTMD does have a lot of money. So this is getting some projects out the door initially. So I guess with that, my motion is PTMD recommends these 3 locations pairwise, so six total. I think they're about $5,000 each, a couple $100 each for annual maintenance. Okay, so that's my motion. Okay, seconded. Any other discussion? And then I guess call the vote. Yep.
Raise your hand if you support, please.
Oh, there's something in the chat. Oh,
Great.
support.
Super, thank you. Opposed? Abstaining?
All right.
Thank you.
So next, we have, in time check, it's 11:10, so I think we still have a little bit of time. Next is improved bike ped crossings. So the general membership, we looked at improved bike ped crossings, about 9 of them, about 9 months ago. And so that's always stops in this instance. So it's an always stop with also a crosswalk. So like Philomena and Vaughn was one of the locations. The new stop signs here on Mueller Boulevard, the new stop signs along Aldridge, and I'm forgetting of some. But there was nine new stop signs in the neighborhood, 9 new always stops, bike ped crossing. So what that does is, like, currently a lot of these streets, the major street as they call it, is unstop controlled. The minor street is stop controlled. But if you're pedestrian, like a lot of folks, they will not stop. And so making it easier to walk and bike, and easier and safer means an always stop. It's incredibly cheap and incredibly effective. It also has the benefit of slowing down drivers, but that's not why we're asking of it. We were asking for improved bike and ped. So the TUP developed these recommendations. They're in in red. So they include, I'll read out, Mueller, Maddie, McBee, and I think McBee and Maddie actually got reinstalled.
Friday.
Yeah, so they'll still be
This
on the
is
letter,
in.
but, well, it'll get removed from the letter, but the other one is, over there by Thankery, so that's in between Maddie and Aldridge. That was also temporarily put up for some construction, so we're recommending that they reinstall that one. Next one's Vaughn and Soren, and then we've got Vaughn and, yep, there's Vaughn and Soren, and then Vaughn and McCurdy, and then we've got Tilly and Soren, and then we've got Tilly and Camacho. So that's a bus stop, and that's a bus stop for kids that go to other schools. So that's the neighborhood bus stop for them to go to like Ann Richards or Keeling or whatnot. Let's see, next one is Tom Miller and Zach Scott. This one, not that one. The next one is Tom Miller and Antone. So that's where the light is, or not the light, that's one of the exits for the city. So that's a big trail crossing, as well as very close to, I think, where we had the fatality as well. The next is Tilly and Camacho. Oh, I said that one. Maddie and Robert Browning is the last one. So there's 9 altogether up there. Yeah, exactly. That's it exactly. And so stop signs are incredibly cheap, and the crosswalks and the stop bars are incredibly cheap. And so some of these in the future should certainly be neighborhood traffic circles. That's right, that's the smaller one. Not roundabout's big, traffic circles small, and apparently in Europe it's opposite. But traffic circles are a bigger conversation. Speaking of that, there's plenty of room for that to be a roundabout or traffic circle also. Anyway, so that is the thought. Meryl.
Just a quick question about Antone. Is it going to be a stop on either side heading toward and from and to airport?
Yes.
I think
So
forward.
the thought is an all-way stop. Yeah.
So what will that do for incoming traffic from airport in terms of backing up? Is that an issue? I don't know.
It's a pretty good length.
It's a pretty good length is my thought.
And there's not a stop sign. They're
No,
not.
there's not.
Well, I mean, it's not a stop
And
light.
Yeah.
People are proceeding.
isn't there also, is the pedestrian crossing right past
I
that?
think
Which is also very confusing. It's too much happening
Yeah,
at that intersection.
for sure.
Because if you're turning, you think you can go, but all of a sudden there's a,
Right. And so an all-way stop, I think, would slow down everybody and make it feel safer to cross right there. I think the crossing island on Zach Scott has really helped at airport. Zach Scott and Tom Miller, there's that big island. Actually, my neighbor, he came up on somebody and they had completely driven up on, which I have no sympathy for. If it's better, they ran up on the island than a pedestrian. Actually, since I've moved here, I've seen 2 crashes at Tilly and Manor, and like too high a speed, people not paying attention. But it's good that they're hitting the concrete instead of pedestrians as well. Yes, ma'am.
As a pedestrian, the traffic circles and islands, or whatever you're gonna call them, are not pedestrian friendly, and the 4-way stops are. I mean, I feel very safe at the 4-way stops, and I never feel safe at those little islands, because people come around them and don't see you. So if you could discourage islands and encourage 4-way stops, that would make us very happy.
For sure, and I think there are many not great islands in Austin, and a lot of that has to do if there's not sidewalks or there's not that, or if they're TxDOT, for example. There are some new traffic circles or traffic circles in North Hyde Park, so Avenue G and 53rd Street, I believe. There's a paint and post traffic circle, but there's no sidewalks. But there's street calming everywhere else. And so it's meant to be a healthy, safe street so that folks can feel safe walking in the street, which is not the context of our neighborhood where we have sidewalks and whatnot. One of the good design guidelines for a traffic circle or roundabout is to offset off the bike and ped crossing. And so like in the Netherlands, they have really good observations of that. But a really big roundabout takes a lot of room that we don't have a lot of space for. So a lot of these should remain always stops, but there are places like on Vaughan specifically, it's such a long straight shot that there's already, so if there's one at Zach Scott, and there's one at McBee, and there's one at, or Simon, and then one at Philomena. But other than that, anybody who's been on Vaughan, either as a cyclist or pedestrian, or even driving, like, folks really drive faster there. So adding these always stops are gonna be helpful, but adding additional traffic circles, like on Vaughan specifically, will make it even better as well. And so it's not a one and done thing. We will keep doing safety measures until the speeds go down enough so that everybody feels comfortable. Yeah, that's like beatings will continue until morale improves. Like we will keep asking for safety improvements until everybody feels safe and we reach Vision Zero. Ani?
Yes, I've been in Miller since 2013, and Berkman, when it was finally finished and went all the way through, became a drag strip.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really amazing to see with the stop signs how that has changed.
Mm-hmm.
What we now have is a noise strip, and that's where people come in on Aldridge Street and come around the circle, and they make a lot of noise, and they go around all the restaurants, the very stuff, and they're showing off their mufflers.
We're all peacocks.
Yeah.
That's a peacock of a different.
Yeah. Well, I just thought I'd bring it up since we're talking about traffic.
For sure, and happy to talk in depth with folks at the TUP meeting to try to get to some of that. There are, for example, France has noise meters, so not only can they do speed radar camera enforcement, but they can do noise and pollution enforcement. We're not able to do that, but we can figure something else out. Preston, you had something? No? Okay. All right, so with that, I'll call the vote on these 9 locations.
Although one's done.
Yeah, that's right, 8 locations. So friendly amendment, remove it. All right, so 8 locations.
And I bet they're maybe doing that one, I don't know.
Yeah.
Philomena.
They might be.
And I would think they're redoing that too.
Yeah, yes? Oh, yeah, you want to call the vote?
Call the vote. Yeah. And people in favor of what has been suggested? Everybody online? Anybody against? And anybody abstaining?
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, y'all.
I have a quick question for the TUP.
Sure.
So there is confusion about the metered parking on Philomena between Dell Hospital and the park, the Greenway, which Philomena's dead
further up.
ends into the Greenway.
No.
There's discussion
Go up
about
there further.
putting a dog park pilot project in the Northwest
So you can
Greenway.
scroll.
And the city has made part of that street
That was bigger.
metered parking. See where Philomena dead ends, right? Yeah.
Yep. By the Total Wine.
Yeah.
Behind the Total Wine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a street.
Yep.
So, we're getting mixed information from the developer. First, the developer said that the entire street would be metered. Part of it has been metered. Now they're saying that the city may or may not meter the rest of it, which would go all the way up to Northwest Greenway. Is there a way to find out?
So the developer is not the primary person for that. It's,
I know.
well, no, that's where I'm going.
Okay.
So for these kind of things, the developer is not in the pilot seat. They're in the pilot seat for
Right.
land stuff. The person in the pilot seat for this is the transportation department, specifically
Yes.
the parking department. So the PTMD, the people that they meet with, that is the people
Yes.
that are in.
Which is why I'm asking if you all can find out, because the developer is telling us different information that's
For-
conflicting with what they've told us previously.
Can you send me an email and I'll forward to the PTMD for them to,
Okay.
yeah,
I will do
exactly.
that.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, and then one last item real quick is, so just north of Tom Miller on Berkman, folks are about to get a new grocery store, which is really great, right there across from the tower. Also, but on both sides of it, so that the tower, they fixed the bike lane in front of the tower development. So what I say by fixed is they corrected it, so it's now best practice, which is now parking protected bike lane. But in between that, on both sides, the north of both bus stops, it's bike lane protected parking, which is bad. It's not safe. It's not best practice. And so we're asking the PTMD to fund the project to put bike lane protected parking on both those segments so that the bike lane stays at the shoulder, just north of the bus stop to just south of Antone. So it's about a couple hundred feet on each side as well. So did I say that right so folks understood what I'm saying?
It's in this area. It's in the tower area.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So if you cross the street on Antone, there's no sidewalk there.
Right.
So they're gonna have to put that in there, right?
No, that's different. I'm talking about the bike lane on Berkman.
We're talking about north-south on Bergman.
Yeah, I'm talking
Right.
about there's no sidewalk north on North.
Well, where that lot's not developed yet in the corner. They
Right.
don't put in sidewalks until the lights develop.
So when they put the sidewalk in, would that be when they would fix it, or?
No. So this is curb to curb. So typically, they don't do anything outside the curb until the development. And outside the curb is the street tree and the sidewalks and stuff like that. It's not great, but the city perspective is let the developer pay for it, whether it's a school or nonprofit or whatnot. And so that's the reason the sidewalk and street trees are not there. And this has to do with people for decades saying development should pay for itself, which I disagree with. The IRS is not at the hospital with the tax bill when you have a kid, right? That's a bad way to do collection for the public infrastructure in my perspective. Street tree and sidewalks, public infrastructure. But I digress. You're gonna say something else? Okay. This is in between the curb to curb location. The reason that they waited to do that section with the tower was because it was an extended section and they had the construction there, so you had a lot of construction vehicles going off and on, and you also had the construction of both those bus stops. And so the thought was it was an interim condition for it to be unprotected, not as great as it could be, but that it would eventually get corrected, which is what the developer did when they did the full project there at the tower as well. But number one, across the street, they're almost completely done with that development, and it's not been done. And so we want the PTMD to say, this is a couple $100. It's some paint and some delineators, hopefully eventually concrete like the rest of Berkman. And then same thing with the 100, 200 feet plus, just north of the bus stop going northbound as well. For sure. But we do need better pedestrian crossings there. I think that's something, that's definitely something the TUP's going to be looking at so there's something called the Transportation Criteria Manual. It calls for pedestrian crossings every couple hundred feet, depends on the level of the street, which is, it's all vibes, it's the way they come up with that. But it also has to do with if there is transit on a street. So Berkman has transit stops, and so when you have transit stops, you want to have pedestrian crossings much more frequently. You get off the bus, you don't want to have to walk half a mile up to walk half a mile down. That's what causes pedestrians to just walk across, just to cross.
Jaywalk.
Yeah.
Technically.
That's what it's called, but that's, yeah. Anyway, not to get on a soapbox about that. But we would love to get better pedestrian crossings everywhere on Berkman. And so that could be a range of things. That could be more crosswalks. That could also be, it could be stops. It could be a roundabout at Simone. It could be some other stuff. Those are much bigger lifts, those are much more, besides crosswalks are very cheap. So if you see some places you want crosswalks, you can send it to you can send it to me, you can send it to the admin, or you can also do a 311 as well. Or you can send it to the council member's office as well, and you can say, these are the crosswalks we like. But maybe with that, we'll call the vote.
Yes.
Did I motion? So motion to PTMD, fix the bike lanes there. Oh, okay. Yeah.
In favor?
Seconded and, yeah, the vote. All right.
Online? Hayden said yes.
Very good.
Yes, support.
Sounds good. All right.
Against, to do a true vote, and abstaining. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks everybody.
That's a lot of time.
Yeah, sorry.
But it's important. Our next general meeting is the third Saturday of February in this room. Our next steering committee is always the first Monday, so it will be February 2nd. We meet in the conference room down the hall. If you go to vote, it's down in a fancy conference room at the end of that hallway. Are there any public or announcements from the...
Okay, thank you, Andrew. My name's Ted Hare. I'm a resident here. Andrew, myself, and a couple other people put together a group that we call the Society and Politics Discussion Group. We meet every other Friday at
Witchcraft.
And everybody's welcome to join.
What time?
9 a.m. on Fridays, every other Friday. It may eventually be every Friday.
There's some flyers back
Ah,
You can also find us
thank you.
online at ourdiscussions.org. That's got the schedule on there. Okay. All right, hope to see some of you there, making friends.
Yeah, very good. Ty.
Our friend Rich Heyman has done an interview about his run for city council. I'll be interviewing Zoe later this week, coming week, and they will be up in 2 weeks. Those 2 interviews about city council will be up in 2 weeks, so you have a chance to see what they had to say.
Thank you very much.
They should find them on the Tower Coffee Hour, which is the news of the neighborhood.
It's a great site, and we will probably have a forum. I will say as the chair, we will have a forum.
Right.
For
Andrew?
yes.
Also, because the state law changed, they can both have activities in our event space,
Yes,
and they should know that.
that's part of our policy now. You can have events in any of our parks. Because I fought for that. On the events committee, I thought it was important. Any other questions or?
Hi, I'm Meryl Foote. The Communications Committee for the Neighborhood Association needs volunteers and folks to do social media posting, newsletter writing, website maintenance, which is very, very easy because we have a content management system. So if you know anyone who would be interested in doing any of those things, please ask them to contact Andrew. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for Meryl. Meryl's done an amazing job and continues to do so. So do we move for adjournment? Okay. Seconded, adjourn, go to this event this afternoon if you're interested.
Okay, well, that was a fairly short meeting. Glad to see that, and hope you click on subscribe and follow this channel for more news of the neighborhood. So long for the Tower Coffee Hour.